are now listening to LauerRoadRadio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the #1 podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Ha, bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRadio.
Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRadio.
Let's get it.
What? At Tanagra, when the walls fell, this is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason. How are you doing today?
Good. We had the conversation that we have before almost every episode. Mm-hmm. We're talking and we're laughing. We're having a good time.
Why are we talking?
And then we say, why are we talking in real life?
Mm-hmm.
We're just wasting.
And then we press record and all the good times stop.
Yeah, I have no idea what we were just saying.
I don't know what was funny.
Whatever it was.
I don't know what we were talking about, what was interesting. And even if at this point Jesse was like, oh, I was talking about...
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
I've lost interest.
I will say this. This is it's a good week that there's not a camera on Jesse, because there's something going on with his eye, and it's super distracting. There's a big red blood...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Blood vessel?
Yeah, in both eyes. So...
Well, I see it in that one. I don't see it in the other one.
This one's really bad.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Don't look that direction.
It's terrible.
Oh.
It's from throwing up.
You threw up so violently that you popped a blood vessel.
Listen, I'm just going to tell my story now. Is that okay?
Okay.
Sure,
all right.
So nobody asked, but...
Yeah,
Shoeless Joe will be happy. He seems to be a fan.
I like Shoeless Joe. I want to meet him someday. We got the 24-hour bug going around in our house. On Christmas, Maddox, our 5-year-old, had it. And the next day, so Sunday, after I got home from church, I basically laid around all day, did nothing. Come Sunday night, my stomach, it just felt terrible.
Yeah.
So, and it was like, I couldn't tell. I wanted to throw up, but it was one of those things where I couldn't really force myself. And then finally, I just chucked.
Yeah.
I was laying in the bed. I didn't even get up and go to bed. I just chucked into a trash can. And it just wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
It would stop, and then it would stop for 10 minutes, and I'd be throwing up again. And when I finally got to the point where I thought I was done, I wiped my mouth and my nose, and I threw up so violently that I blew out looked like a blood clot from my nose. I mean, I had blood everywhere.
Having this conversation?
I don't know why we're starting the show like this.
Oh, it gets good, though.
No, people have already signed off. They're like, this is just gross.
It is. But the people that listen to the show, they're like, that's what they want.
Okay, well, just get the story over with.
So I've got that going on. So then I end up on the toilet and head over a trash can.
Yeah, that's
3 or 4 times. Yeah. Not a good place. So I finally get done. I'm like, I think I feel better. So I go back to the bedroom, lay down, and go to sleep. I'm in the middle of a dream. Don't remember the dream. But all of a sudden, I wake up, and I feel some warmth on my legs, around my knees.
Yeah.
At some point in the dream, the dream must have farted, and I full-blown pooped the bed. It was disgusting. And it was in straight liquid, so it wasn't, there was no...
Yeah, that's
was...
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's more.
Okay.
There's more. So... I get better the next day, that's when I realize I have broken blood vessels in my eye. Savannah gets it, and so she's up the whole next night throwing up.
And she pooped herself.
She didn't. Oh. She peed herself full out 3 times while throwing up.
Oh, that's nice.
3 times. So which is worse, poop in the bed once or peeing your pants 3 times?
I would say probably just talking about your wife that way.
I would never
on a podcast
my wife
where everybody could hear.
Did anything like
that would be probably. That'd probably be the worst.
I told her that I was going to mention it because after I pooped the bed, I was like, I guess I literally woke up.
I've never heard somebody refer to themselves pooping the bed so casually.
Listen, I woke up literally. I swear to you, I woke up, pulled the sheets off the bed, looked at Savannah, and said, "This is going to be a good one for the podcast."
Yeah.
So then the next night when she pees, I said, "Oh, this is going to be even better."
Yeah.
And she said, "No, you can't say that." And I said, "Oh, it's too late. I am." So I did.
Well, I would have took her advice.
I would think that was good advice.
Listen, the couch at home's comfortable.
Well,
okay?
when your wife
she'll be fine on it.
When your wife tells you something, not only should you listen, but you should also comply.
Yeah.
I do most times.
Okay, we'll see how that goes.
Jason, how are you doing today?
Good. Yeah, I've got some things I would like to talk about today.
I was listening to last show, and
what is going on
in the world?
What is that?
Could you mute whatever that is?
Is that a phone?
No, it's Jesse.
Jesse.
Jeez. Anyway, I rediscovered the joy of listening to our podcast at half speed, and it was tremendous.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Half speed.
Yeah, it sounds like we're drunk, and it's awesome.
You gonna play some?
Well, okay, so we were talking about Christmas, and it sounded like we were drinking a bunch of eggnog.
Okay.
It's fine. Just the fact that I'm making fun of you. It's called A Boy Called Christmas.
Okay.
Okay.
In which nobody really.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. So this is
halftime.
I have an idea for a Christmas movie. Tell me what you think about this. This is not a fully formed idea, but it's like the world that we're living in which nobody really above a certain age believes in Santa Claus. Because, all of these movies, like I just watched The Santa Claus with our niece and nephew, Josiah and Elise, on Saturday morning. Tim Allen.
Yeah.
And in it, Santa Claus is real. This is a world in which Santa Claus is real, but no adult believes in Santa Claus except that he does seem to deliver presents. So like in this world, it's like, well, where do you think those presents came from?
Yeah.
Like mom and dad. Because presents are just showing up, and you're like, Santa Claus is not real. Like, yeah, every year somehow presents just show up under our tree that we don't know about, but this Santa Claus is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Listen, if presents just showed up under my tree every Christmas Eve,
I might start to believe.
I would be like, yes, yes.
Something's happening.
Something's going on.
So anyway, I could listen to it all day.
It changes
but that
the
sounds
show.
like you and I just sat around drinking eggnog for about 3 or 4 hours,
Yeah,
and
it
then
changes the show. It's a whole different show.
it's
at
a
that
better
point.
show, and it happened on accident. Right at that point, I was walking or something, I don't know, and I got thinking I accidentally pushed the button that
go
moved
half
it
speed,
to
yeah.
half speed or whatever, and that's tremendous. That's a much better way to listen to the
So I was just thinking.
Something's going on. I mean, it was just tremendous. So I rediscovered the joy of listening to the podcast at half
Boy,
speed.
that's been
I would encourage anyone
That's
else
a
to do the
throwback.
same.
It's been a while since we've done that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You know what else I realized today that we haven't done in a long, long time?
Okay.
So we need to figure out how to do this tonight. And I don't know what subject we're going to use yet. But I was listening to a Bill Simmons podcast today.
Okay.
And I never do. I actually don't really care
It's
for
been
him.
years since I've listened. I was a religious listener to Bill Simmons' podcast.
The only reason why I listened to him was John Madden just died.
Yeah.
And so he was doing like a John Madden tribute type of thing and interviewing some people and stuff like that. So one of the things that he did after that segment was he did a draft. We haven't done a draft.
It's true. We have not done a draft.
Typically, we do Mount Rushmores. So at some point tonight, I would
Okay.
like to do a draft on some
right.
topic.
Okay, where we do maybe do it like basketball style, where we each have five. It's like ends up being a 5-on-5, and then we
or
can
maybe
evaluate.
2 or 3.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. The truth is, even the Bill Simmons one, there was 3 guys drafting. They drafted like 4 or 5 things each.
Were they drafting Madden players?
No, they got onto the basketball.
If you were drafting Madden players, who would you pick first? Michael Vick, right? He was unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Adrian Peterson, too.
Well, the problem, I stopped playing at a certain point.
I stopped playing when Eddie George was on the cover. That was the last time I
That's like
started.
the first one.
Oh, okay. I played that one a lot.
So, like, if you just did video game football, like Bo Jackson was unbelievable.
Yeah, Bo Jackson. Christian Okoye, I'm going to put him right there, too.
Oh, you couldn't tackle him.
He was unstoppable.
Now, he wasn't fast.
No, but he didn't have to be because you couldn't tackle him.
You couldn't tackle him.
Yeah.
And Michael Vick at quarterback, he was unstoppable.
That roll out, the fake pass where you just let him go, and then Michael Vick runs straight down the field.
Well, I imagine, I haven't played today. Harrison plays Madden still, but is Lamar Jackson that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is unstoppable, right?
Yeah, he's incredibly fast.
He's just like Michael Vick. I mean, he has a cannon.
Careful.
Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Michael Vick had a cannon for an arm.
Yeah, people underestimate how far he could throw the ball.
And on a tight, but Lamar Jackson can too.
Yeah.
He's got a heck of an arm. I don't think his accuracy is as good. I think Michael Vick had tremendous accuracy.
Yeah.
I heard an interview one time. Michael Vick was talking after he got in trouble with the dog fighting and all that stuff. When he came back after all of that had gone down, his physical skills were still probably better than anybody in the league, but he wasn't able to do what he used to do. And he said for the first time in his life, like, he studied the playbook.
Oh, right.
Because prior to that, he didn't have to. Everything was instinct and reaction. He could just go out there and...
Because he's just crazy, better,
that
athletic.
Much better than everybody. Now, you put, like, Peyton Manning in his body, right? It's unbelievable.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
It's the Madden character.
Had Michael Vick studied the playbook and put that dedication into...
Had he had better coaching maybe earlier that could kind of like wrangle him in, I think he'd have been the greatest of all time. Injuries, among other things, were his problems.
So dogfighting wasn't really great for his career either.
Mount Rushmore of dogs in a dogfight.
Oh, well, I don't know if we want to go there.
I mean...
man versus dog.
Man versus dog.
What are the dogs that would fight man best?
Oh, okay.
Let's not fight dogs on dogs. Let's fight dogs and men.
I've always wanted to go to a cockfighting thing.
A rooster.
Yeah. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
Just want to make sure.
And these guys, that's what they call it.
Yeah, I know. I just
Jason.
Listen,
Jason's need to clarify.
I just want to clarify that.
Roosters. They don't call it rooster fighting. They call it cockfighting.
Not everybody who listens to this broadcast knows what cockfighting
is. Yes, they do.
No, listen.
Okay, roosters. Male chickens.
Yes.
Fighting.
Uh-huh.
Now, I know it's illegal, and I know that it's even inhumane.
Grotesque.
Yeah, because they put razors on them and stuff.
Yeah.
But I hear that it's like a really big deal. Like down in the... I mean, you get like thousands of people together.
Oh, thousands?
Yeah. Like this guy was... I know a guy from Tennessee that was telling me... he was explaining the whole thing to me.
Yeah.
And he said then they pay off the cops. The local cops get paid off. They get a cut of it. Yeah. And he was telling me all the money he would make. He would make thousands of dollars a chicken. He would raise these things up and he would sell them for like... He could sell... You could sell a winner. He said if you had a winner, you could sell for $20,000.
What?
Yeah. So it's a really big deal. And he said then every once in a while, the FBI or the feds or whatever would get involved. They'd show up. He said we'd have to shut it down for a month. We'd wait for them to leave, and then we'd just open it back up.
Yeah.
It's a really big deal. Huh. And so I just always... I really...
So when
I
a
think
guy
I would
shows
go,
up...
I would see one fight, and I'd be like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm not in on this. But I'd be interested in the whole experience.
The atmosphere.
But there's food trucks, barbecue... You know what I mean?
Probably.
Yeah.
Now, if they're serving chicken at the barbecue stand...
That's the losers.
It's fresh.
Now, you know that's been tenderized.
So, toughest dogs...
Yeah. For a man to fight.
How about... Okay, I got a new one. Instead of for a man to fight. You're hiking...
In the woods.
In the woods.
Okay.
And the Mount Rushmore of dogs you want with you to protect you.
From a bear.
From bear, mountain lions.
Anything like that.
Anything.
Okay.
How's that?
That's good. I'm going to say like your type of dog, like Australian Shepherd type of thing.
Why?
Not that they're vicious, but they're very antsy.
They're very aware of what's going on.
They're very aware, and they're going to move.
Yeah.
And I think like if a bear or a cat, mountain lion, bobcat, something like that is attacking you, I think that's going to throw it off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a very movey, very fidgety animal. Like even our dog, Watson, who's tiny, is kind of wired that way too.
Right.
She moves and she barks and she yaps.
She's an appetizer. Though.
She is, but there's no way. She is so stinking fast. There's no way. Maybe a cat.
I mean, yeah, mountain lions capture rabbits, so she's not faster than a rabbit.
Maybe.
So I have a friend who has a dog that's half timber wolf. Half German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Half German Shepherd, half Timberwolf. That thing is a beast.
Yeah.
And I would feel just fine. I remember it's like a giant. Do you remember in the Ninja Turtles when they gave the ooze to
Toka and Razor?
Yeah. It's like that version of Boomer. When they dog sat Boomer once.
Yeah.
And their dog's name is Bear. It's half Timberwolf, and Boomer were standing next to each other, and they're very similar as far as like their coloring and the like long hair, but it's just this giant dog. They had a deck that ran to their upstairs, and he did it in like literally 2 bounds, like boom, boom, all the way up.
Yeah.
It was amazing. That dog, you feel its paws, its head. It's got this like point on its head. If that thing was with me, like I would never threaten and it's the nicest dog. It's a very pleasant dog. They're good dog owners.
Big.
But it is its teeth. I mean, you hold its head. It's like this thing is a beast.
Yeah.
So that dog I would want with me.
See, I think a misconception like Great Dane, I don't think they're a good fighter.
No.
They're just big.
They're too nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think you want. Great Danes are intimidating.
So they're ginormous
because they're so big,
like a small horse.
So maybe from that standpoint, it's big enough that it brings some intimidation.
Yeah.
But
I think.
I mean, German Shepherds are good.
Yes.
Because I mean that's a.
And what about a Doberman? Doberman.
Listen, my parents. I've been around a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mount Rushmore. Here it is.
Okay.
Border Collie over an Australian Shepherd. Border Collies are way smarter.
Okay.
A Tibetan Mastiff, like the biggest dogs in the world. They're gigantic. I think you're right on the German Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think after the German Shepherd, there's this dog. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a Mastiff, but it's gigantic.
Yeah.
Or Saint Bernard. I think if you're going out, those are the ones.
Those are big husky
Those are the
dogs.
ones you want. Yeah. Doberman, I would put them almost in the same class as like the Great Danes.
I think they look intimidating.
They look terrifying. Yeah.
That's what Higgins had, Magnum PI.
Yeah. It is.
Those were like the guard dogs at the on the Hawaii.
I had a dream with Tom Selleck in it the other day. He was cheating on his wife
with you.
No, with another woman, and I was trying to get him to like come clean.
Okay.
And so
Tom, you don't want to do this.
I was like, Tom, this is not, like, and he was like, yeah, but, I just, and so I had some sort, wet dreams don't make sense.
Yeah.
Somehow I had manufactured this thing where they were in the house and he was in the house and I was going to be there and they were going to meet the couples and it was going to be really, what a weird dream. I've been watching. Dream. I've got Tom Selleck on the brain because I've been watching a lot of Blue Bloods lately. So
in the dream, did he try to get you to do a reverse mortgage?
No, he did not.
I'll come clean.
Although we were in a house that for some reason, now that I meant that I was the realtor of the house that was like, that's how I got them there.
I got you.
Was because I was selling this house.
Yeah.
It's a weird dream.
I love dreams. My dreams are crazy. I mean, they're so wild. None of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like the ultimate movie.
Yeah.
I need to be writing this stuff down because when I first wake up, I'm like, that was great. That was fantastic. I wish somehow you could record, like visually record my dream. Because I can.
They'll make it happen.
Yeah, I
can make it.
Elon's working on it already.
I'm sure he probably already has it.
I saw an interview with Elon Musk on Babylon
Elon.
B. Elon.
I think it's Elon. Yeah, I pronounce it Elon. Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
That's the female version. Elon.
Should we be? I don't want to
Mr. Musk.
Should we be making fun of him? He's an African American. And I don't want to
technically that's
mock.
True.
And anyway, he was on the Babylon B.
Yeah.
Interviewed him, and Babylon B. It is what it is.
It's a parody.
It's a parody thing. It started off as like a Christian thing, but now it's even more political, I think.
Yeah.
It was. I got about 10 or 15 minutes into it. It was the worst interview.
Yeah. They
are so bad. They just kept on trying to make jokes that weren't funny, and trying to make it about them. And he would talk about they said, "Could you even go to an H&R Block and have someone do your taxes?" Which I think, okay, that's all right. That's kind of a funny question.
That's a legit funny question.
And he was like, "Actually, my taxes are very simple. They could do it."
Well,
he goes, "I wouldn't need to because I can do them myself." But and then he said something, and then the guy was like. He kept on bringing it back to himself, and he kept on like kind of like mocking his. He's like, "Well, I'm I have the third nicest car in my neighborhood or something like that, and it just was not funny.
Like, first
and they
of all,
kept
this
on
is not about
interrupting.
you.
This is the time person of the year, whatever, and you have a chance to interview him.
He's the wealthiest man on the planet.
Ask him only questions and listen.
Yes.
That's your job, not to make stupid jokes about you.
Here's the problem with Elon Musk is he's not charismatic.
Oh, he's not charismatic.
He is dry, and I mean
He takes everything very literally.
very literally.
And he thinks about it and he answers it. Oh, I don't think this is very interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And he just says what he thinks. And I love the guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if I had an opportunity to interview him,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be making stupid jokes the whole time.
No.
I would interview him. And it'd
Yeah.
be like, this is actually, I have questions.
I
You're
have
one of the smartest people on the face of the earth.
questions right now I'd love to ask, you know.
What
So-
is Bitcoin? How does that work?
I think he's Dogecoin, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he actually has much Doge. I saw an interview where he's like, no, I endorse it, but I don't own it.
I don't know. Well, and he's started to take cryptocurrency into so you could buy a Tesla with crypto.
Yeah.
And like that's a big deal. Once
Okay.
retailers and
Because we're taking it out of the hands of the government, the money control.
yeah, to regulation.
I was with a couple of fans of the show last night, the Pews, Farmer Bob.
They
And
sent me a Christmas card.
oh, isn't that nice? And
Did you get one?
No.
You didn't get one? I got
Doggone it, Bob. Come on, man.
And
Technically, it was late though.
Brett
we didn't
and
have
Katie,
it before Christmas.
we got ours. Feels like we got ours like the day before Christmas. It doesn't matter.
It matters.
Anyway, it matters to you. Anyway, I asked them on the Blue Bloods that I have been watching. I'm just going to apologize now. This episode is going to be pretty Blue Bloods heavy. So I've been watching a lot
Lots
of
of
it.
Tom Selleck.
Lots of Tom Selleck. And on the episode that I had just watched, there was this whole thing about if you could go back in time and you could talk to your 18-year-old self and tell them you could only 3 words. You can tell your 18-year-old self something as the future you, but you can only use 3 words. What are the 3 words that you would tell your 18-year-old self? So do you know what the answer to your question to that would be?
Don't marry her.
You gave me crap.
No.
But you don't know who her is.
Oh,
so that's your
when
problem.
I was 18,
Yeah.
When I was 18, I knew who her was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, but you
Turns
did.
out I was right.
Yeah.
But there was a time when I was 18, I thought,
Bob's answer is pretty funny. He's like, I was doing pretty good when I was 18. I'd say keep it up. I thought that was pretty funny.
Going back to the last one, it'd be like, buy
Bitcoin.
all Bitcoin.
Well, that
buy
was-
Bitcoin now.
That was
At
Brett's
18.
That
buy
was
Bitcoin
Brett's
now.
answer.
Yeah.
That was Brett's answer. He was like, I
He'd
would
be a
say
billionaire.
buy some Bitcoin or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you know. And I thought his was very.
Well, he's a lot like Elon Musk. Brett is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's very literal.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good
also
answer.
a big D&D guy, right?
Brett, yeah, he's a big D&D guy. Yeah,
Did that meme I sent you?
Yeah, I think so.
It was
yeah.
like, when you realize that you're dead and you get to heaven and all your friends are sitting there waiting for you to play Dungeons and Dragons. You're like, yeah. And then you realize Tolkien is the dungeon master, the dragon master, whatever it's called. You're like,
Yeah. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I thought that was funny.
So don't marry her.
Yeah.
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin
Is
now.
would that be yours? Yeah. Mine
Like when, what's the guy from Community that...
Joel McHale.
No, not I'm sorry. Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson. Oh, yeah.
He's like, I want
Parks and Rec.
all of the bacon.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, he's like, give me all the eggs and bacon you have.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, okay. And he's excuse me, son. I'm afraid that when you heard me say, give me all the eggs and bacon you had, that what you heard was, give me a lot of eggs and bacon.
Right.
But what I meant was, give me all the eggs.
All, yeah.
And then the kid's reaction is it's my favorite part. He's like he's
Yeah,
so like,
I gotcha. But it's like buy all the
all
Bitcoin.
just all the Bitcoin. Just
All.
buy it all.
Not some. All.
I went to school with a kid that bought I think it was like $400 or $500 in 2012 when we graduated.
Yeah.
And he called me when I used to work in finance. He's like, "Hey man, do you know anything about Bitcoin?" And I was like, "No man, that's stupid. Why would you?" He goes, "Well, I bought a bunch when we graduated, and I heard it's up to like 10 or 12,000, and he bought it for like pennies."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, we did the math, and he would
Please
have
tell
had
me.
over the computer at the time, because it's like all on hardware.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't at the time you couldn't save it into a wallet or anything. He no longer has had the computer, so he threw away. Today, I mean, we're talking probably $20 million. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so much money. I'm like, I would want to jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
That's
I
sad.
kind of want to jump off a cliff for him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
He can't be a happy guy in life. I mean,
yeah. I don't know anything about crypto. I wish I would have got in early,
I don't know.
but whatever.
If I could go back
Doge
and
to the moon.
tell my 18-year-old self anything, I think I'd probably like learn how to count. That's probably what I would. The 3.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Let the audience take a
What I
second
would
to.
say.
Yeah, no, it's a humorous joke. It's not laugh out loud funny. It's kind of a smirk.
Play
Yeah.
that in half speed.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, I told Erica that
kind of a
joke
dad
that
joke, too.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Erica's. So the stupid part of the show was like at the end, the girl and then Jamie Reagan, who is Tom Selleck's son, one of his sons. She said my 3 words would be marry Jamie Reagan, which they were already married. You know what I mean? And it kind of like ends that way, and it's just like heartwarming, you know. And Erica's like, mine would be marry Dan Owings, and I said mine would be learn how to count, and she laughed.
But
And then the next day, I told the kids, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty funny." And then Erica's like, "Wait a minute, that's not 3 words." And then she got it. I was like, "Why did you laugh yesterday?" You know,
it was a sympathy laugh.
it was a sympathy laugh.
Yeah.
and it
You're
makes
so
me
funny.
It makes me wonder. It makes me
your whole
question
life
every
is a lie.
laugh that
Yes.
I've ever gotten.
That's pretty good.
All right, what do you got, Jason?
Okay, so since we're talking about wives, I'll bring this one up. So Shelby just graduated with her master's degree, and she's in the process of applying to some high-end jobs, like jobs that will pay 3 times what we make right now. And she just found one that she really wanted. It fits exactly what she wants to do. And she sent me she was at work, and she sent me a text and said, "Hey, could you just set one up?" And she sent me an example of a resume she wanted to mirror. Because her other one she didn't like as much. She wanted to redo it. And I was going to lay it out and then give it to her, and then she can edit the
Sure.
details. So when I laid it out, I have to put in some dummy text. So like under skills,
Lorne Ipsum.
yeah, but like real words. So like under like skills, I did like kayaking, hiking,
Oh,
like
sure.
that stuff she would never do. But she went and changed all that stuff. Well, the top one,
Oh, no.
the top
Yeah.
thing said personal quote, or not quote, personal statement.
Oh, okay.
Personal statement. And I want to read exactly what that statement is. Now, you got to keep in mind, I was doing it because I'm really good at laying stuff out.
You are. I've always said that. Always said that about you. I said,
Visually-
Jason, somebody would be like, I need to lay some stuff out. And I'd be like, wait
Jason,
a minute. You
can
should
do
call
that.
my brother because
Yeah.
he's good at laying stuff out.
That's the first thing I noticed about
On
him when I met him.
multiple platforms, like electronically.
Yeah.
And if you just need to like lay out some stuff on the ground, like if you're
He's
going to
very
like,
good at that.
if you're doing like a garage sale, you know, and you need to kind of lay it out, like we should call my brother and we should talk to him about this.
So in general, I'm just going to, like that's laid out. It's a 1-page.
Yeah.
Listen, it's very good.
Yeah.
Okay, but I need to read you the personal statement. Now, listen, I just typed this in there to fill the space.
Right.
And she changed everything
Except for this.
except for this.
Okay.
And she sent it.
Oh no.
She emailed it to them.
Because she wasn't aware. She made a mistake.
She made a mistake. She did her cover letter. She did all the skills. She did everything
Okay.
except for this personal statement.
Which is
I said, it's a very bold statement.
okay.
Okay, because I'm like, listen, I know she's going to dumb it down.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
bold statement,
Yeah.
personal statement. I am the best person for this job. ... Period.
Oh.
Explanation point.
Word. You wrote out the word period.
I wrote out the word
Okay.
period.
I'm the best person for this job. ... Period. Exclamation mark.
Yes.
Okay.
Hire me for this position.
Oh, it goes on.
Listen. Hire me for this position. You won't regret it.
Okay.
It has always been my dream and desire to do this for a living. It brings a large level of satisfaction and personal gratification.
Okay.
It's a bold statement.
You know what though? I mean, if I'm looking to hire somebody,
That's a person.
You want somebody with some confidence.
Yes.
That says,
Now,
I was made for this job.
her personality is not like that at all. I would do that.
No, you would do that. When they meet her, they'll be like, who wrote? We expected someone else.
So she was kind of freaking out about it. She, we were at church and she was at home and was doing all this work to send it out. And she sent me a text as I was driving home. And she's like, I accidentally sent the wrong one. And she explained that to me. She's like, what do I do? And I'm like, well, like you could leave it and just see what happens. Because it's a pretty bold statement. If someone had that on a resume, it's like, I want to talk to this person.
I do want to talk to them.
Now, whether you hire them or not, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I said, you should probably just fix it and say that it was a rough draft and you were just like filling, whatever. So that's what she did. So she went and changed it and dumbed it down.
Yeah.
And she basically said in the email, although I actually agree with this statement, I would never have said that because it's not something you would do in a professional resume.
Sure.
And so she said, please refer to this new resume.
Yeah.
Which everything was identical except for that personal statement.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. I can't wait to hear the feedback.
I must be like, you know what? I liked the other one better.
Yeah. Like if she gets the phone call, and they're like, listen, we read through it the first time and we were going to call you back. You had the job.
yeah.
Didn't even have to interview.
Now,
but then you changed it.
Which resume do you want us to read? Because we like one and don't like the other one. Yeah. Everything's identical except for the personal statement. And it's really dumbed down. I mean, it's, but I am the best person
It sounds
for
like
this job,
definitely
period.
like a Dwight Schrute statement.
Yeah, well, I was kind of like feeling
You
that
were
as I was
channeling
typing it
Dwight,
out, but
yeah.
I loved it. I thought that was great.
Okay.
So the moral of the story: proofread.
Okay.
Proofread
You
your stuff.
gotta proofread.
Listen, you cannot take back an email.
I don't proofread, but I have my wife proofread everything. And if something makes its way through, and
It's
I'm
on
like,
her.
this is your fault.
This
This
is
is
on
your
you.
job.
Yeah.
I'm the one that creates. You're the one that proofreads.
Yes. Well, in our house, that's typically what we do. I create it, I lay it out, I make it look good, and she proofreads it. And she basically proofread everything except for that personal statement.
All right.
That's fun. What do you got?
I mean, we could do another suggestion of the
I
week
got more stuff.
if you wanted to, but you could do this stuff later.
Okay. Well, listen, I got a really good one. I've been sitting on. For
We
a
have
couple
to do a
weeks.
draft, and I have a draft idea that's related to my
Okay, let's do
suggestion,
Netflix.
but I
Let's
don't
do
know.
I tried on some skinny jeans today.
That's what the blood vessel is about.
Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube. Or we don't want to put a box around what you watch, so you never know.
Jason, what is your Netflix suggestion of the week?
My Netflix suggestion of the week is called Foundation.
Oh, Apple TV?
It is on Apple TV.
Okay.
And it's a 10-part series. And there's one season of it available. I'm not sure if there will be additional.
It's based on Isaac Asimov's book.
Correct. And it's futuristic. They don't really say a timeline because they refer to Earth like once throughout the entire thing.
Okay, so it's pretty distant future.
Like distant future.
Okay.
Yeah, they refer to Earth like it's possible that like the original man may have come from Earth. Like Alpha Centauri, they named a couple different places and planets and stuff
Titan.
like that. But Earth was mentioned one time, but it's not a thing.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. But this is distant future. And it's a crazy, crazy world, galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, that they have created. And
God created the Milky Way galaxy. And I won't sit here and let you tell me that some Apple TV Steve Jobs loving producer did. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they don't believe in God.
the galaxy that they inhabited, the universe that they had come up with.
Did you watch all 10 episodes?
I did, yeah.
And you like it?
I did. Estelle and I watched it together.
Have you watched Ted Lasso yet?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. I haven't watched season 2.
Yeah, I think I got through season 1 and I stopped, and I
thought
liked
you
it.
would like it.
Yeah,
it seemed
it's
like something
good.
you would
I
like.
liked. He's a funny actor. It was Jason Sudeikis.
Sudeikis.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's funny, and the content is pretty funny.
Is there any other Apple TV? There are a couple other Apple TV things that looked interesting.
We watched.
I don't
the Tom
have it
Hanks
right now.
One where he's like with a robot
Yes.
in like a post-apocalyptic dystopian future.
Somebody said it is Castaway
And Wall-E.
meets Wall-E.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's fine. It was okay.
All right.
I tend to like Tom Hanks.
I'm a big Tom Hanks fan.
And it was an okay. I like the post-apocalyptic dystopian.
Come on.
That's my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And Estelle and I, we watch those types of movies.
I'm a pre-apocalyptic guy. That's what I like. Pre-apocalyptic movies.
Which is what we're now.
We're living in a pre-apocalyptic
Yes.
time frame.
There's also
like Seinfeld is pre-apocalyptic.
Correct.
And I love that. So
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I like the post.
my Netflix suggestion of the week is pre-apocalyptic. I'm back on Blue Bloods, and it's wonderful. And we had caught up a while ago, and then we had watched them all. So
That Tom Hanks movie is called Finch. I
Finch,
think.
there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Finch. And so we canceled the CBS subscription add-on to Amazon, and this somewhere in the fall, I told Erica, I said, "Hey, Christmas vacation this year, let's get a month of the CBS subscription and catch up on Blue Bloods."
Okay.
So we've been doing that. We should finish where they're currently at, because they're currently making a season. So we should get through episode 9 of season 12. 12 seasons is a long time for a television show, and they are still knocking it out of the park. I'm telling you, it's tremendous. I genuinely enjoy it a lot.
So here's a question for you. A lot of these seasons, a lot of the new stuff they're making, not necessarily the made for TV, but the made for Netflix and Paramount, Peacock, they're 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And typically they're like our show, about 52 minutes.
Yeah.
They're just under an hour.
Yeah.
10 episodes. If I were to tell you, will you sit down and watch a 10-hour movie? The answer would probably be no. I don't have time for that.
I'm not watching a 10-hour movie.
I can't tell you how many times I've binged 10 episodes in a row of something.
Yeah.
Because
here's
I'm
the
really
thing.
into
like,
it.
if I know something only has 10 episodes, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to watch that, because I don't know if it's going to get re-upped.
Yeah.
I'm looking for I want to find a show that has 10 seasons, 20 episodes a season.
You have 200 to burn through.
Yeah, and just kind of just work through it.
Murder, She Wrote has like 600.
Yeah, I can't do it. I really tried. No one tried harder than me.
Well,
I tried.
yeah,
I've
accomplished it.
You have accomplished
multiple
it.
times.
I tried and failed.
The one series that Estelle and I watched years ago, and we watched it live, and we liked it. She was younger at the time. Was Terra Nova. And we were so excited. Do you remember that?
Yep.
But they only made one season of it.
I don't like
and I'm
that.
like, this is so...
And so when
I
a
hate
new show
this.
comes out, I'm almost like, I don't know that I want to get into it,
Yeah.
because I don't know if they're going to re-up it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into it and like it. Like, there was this show on Netflix. They go to space, and it's really good. I forget the name of it, but I really liked it. And then I found out that they canceled it. They're not going to do another season. And they left it kind of on a cliffhanger. They're like on Mars.
Yeah.
And I was upset about
Yeah.
it. I wished, as much as I enjoyed it, I wished I'd never watched it. So I'm looking for something. That's got so many episodes.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. No, I
And
was,
Blue Bloods has that. I would
Lately.
encourage. Can I
I just
just
don't know if I can
encourage
do Blue
anybody?
Bloods.
Why? I know you think you can't, and I felt the same way. I really did. It was a desperation. We were in a deep, when we found Blue Bloods,
You were in a
we
shithole.
had hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know, Erica, this is like Blue Bloods? Like, you didn't try this? I don't know.
It's Tom
And
Selleck.
It's Tom Selleck. And she was like, I literally said, I have this great idea, actually. This is a tremendous idea.
Yeah.
I want them to make a prequel to Blue Bloods in which Tom Selleck is not the commissioner, but it's the 60s, and he's a beat cop in New York City in the 60s. I think that would be a good show.
But would Tom Selleck play himself?
Of course not. But I said, isn't that a good idea? And in the show,
Yeah.
Tom Selleck's dad was the former commissioner.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you'd have both guys younger, the one guy about
Tom
ready to
Selleck
be
could play
commissioner.
his dad.
Well, that would be weird, but I guess he could. Anyway,
Yeah.
I pitched this idea, which is a good idea. A 60s cop show in New York City. It's young.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you think? It's a good idea, right? And she goes, I just don't think they could find anybody good looking enough to play Tom Selleck. And there was no ounce of sarcasm in her voice at all. It was completely...
Chris
Hemsworth. You're a Chris Hemsworth guy.
Ryan Reynolds?
No.
Says a lot about you.
Chris Hemsworth, he's like a Viking god.
Really?
Yes. Or Jason Momoa.
Is it Momoa or is it
I don't know.
Samoa, isn't that the cookie that the Girl Scouts do?
The Aquaman guy.
Yeah.
That guy's a stud.
Jason Momoa?
Yeah. Is that what I said?
Yeah, it is. There's another thing I think that you would like on Amazon, on Apple TV with him in it.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
I think you might like that.
It's hard.
I had to stop watching it.
I have a hard time because just the other night I was flipping through to find something to watch, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I have to work the next day. Mm-hmm. So I only want something like an hour and a half. I need to be in bed before midnight, or I'm not going to wake up nice. And I flipped through for probably an hour before I just went to bed.
I know, it's tough.
I hate it.
We've never had more options and less to watch.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. That's true.
Yeah.
Literally, there are thousands and thousands of shows to watch, and either I've already watched them or they look like crap. How's that possible?
Or anymore, they're going so like woke. Like we watched this show. It was called All American. It was about this high school football player from Compton that ended up going to like a rich white school, and it was really good. Like for the first like 2 or 3 seasons, and then this last season, the opening episode, there's a girl painting BLM all over, and I'm like, well, there we go. Can't watch that anymore.
You know, I would watch if it was available. Is the original American Gladiators from the?
I mean, I'm sure
90s.
it is on YouTube.
The big rocket thing, and they shoot it.
I loved
and
that.
everything,
I mean,
the
it
tennis
can't
ball
be as
gun,
good as the memory is, but yeah.
like Star Laser.
Remember that Nintendo game? That was a hard game.
Yeah.
Some of the parts were easy, but some of them were really hard.
Yeah.
Man, I loved the American Gladiators. I
was-
wanted to be on that show so much.
The American Gladiators.
Well, we're talking American Gladiators. I would suggest that anybody watch. We were at the bottom of our barrel.
yeah, Blue Bloods.
When we went out, when we just said, okay, let's just watch a couple episodes of this, and it hooked us.
See, here's the thing.
And I have not let
You're
go.
a Blue Bloods guy. I'm a Law and Order guy.
Yeah, and I have
they're
not been
different.
able to get to Law and Order. I've tried.
Now there's a couple different versions.
I know. SVU was the one that you said I watched.
No. I can't do SVU. Special Victims Unit.
I thought
it's
that's
like no.
What did you
Criminal
tell me to
Intent.
watch? Criminal Intent. Yeah, and I just couldn't.
I like the
don't know.
Criminal Intent.
I am a big.
Now there's also just regular Law and Order.
Yeah.
and there's like 800 episodes.
Yeah.
so you can't run.
I just can't. I don't know.
dun.
I mean, I like that.
The dun part.
Bum 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 bum. It's great.
If anything says 90s opener theme, it's Law and Order.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And don't they have like the neon sign or like the neon letters?
I don't think it's neon. It's like red and blue.
Well, it's like the sign, like you would see signs outside of shops. Not neon. No, I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
All right, whatever. I'm an idiot.
I don't think it's neon. You said you had a draft or...
Well, I mean, I had an idea.
I mean, I've got other stuff to talk about, but...
We could talk about your stuff, and then I have a draft idea.
Okay.
If we get to it.
We'll end on a draft. Because I think the draft is only entertaining if you care about the content.
Okay.
I want to do a Mount Rushmore of worst things to move. And this comes from
Okay.
a story that I'm about ready to tell you.
Well, you told the piano story
Piano
last
story?
week.
I told it on air?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had it in my notes.
Did he tell it on air?
Did I tell it on air or
Yes,
did I
he
tell it in
told-
real life? No,
He
I
told
don't.
it in real life. I don't
think I told it on air. I think I
don't know.
did it after
I
the
don't
show.
know. I can't differentiate the two.
Did anybody listen last week? Did
I-
you watch?
I did listen to last week.
I'm almost positive that you told it afterwards and then said
'Cause
that
you
were
said
gonna-
Because
names.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
used
I
names,
used
and then you
real
said, I
names.
won't use the names in the
Yeah.
real story.
It was CC Park.
All right.
CC calls me up. She's Gideon's soccer coach.
Uh-huh.
She calls me up like on a Thursday afternoon
Mm-hmm.
and says, I'm getting my son a piano for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Could you help me move it? She goes like, there's going to be a bunch of guys there. I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, okay, that's fine.
Sure.
Like, listen, I'm getting up in age. where I don't want to move a piano.
I get it.
There are plenty of guys that are 25 to 30
yeah.
who are capable of this.
Sure.
I'm twice that. Almost.
Half as capable.
And half as capable. So she says it has to get moved tonight because the person I'm picking it up from is moving. So I've got like 4 or 5 hours to prepare for this. I'm like, okay, mentally, I'm going to show up. There's going to be a bunch of guys. I'll help direct.
Now, does she have something to transport this?
So I asked her that. I said, do you have a trailer? And she said, yes.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Good.
So I get there.
Because you want something that's low to the ground.
100%. So I get there with Harrison. I brought him with me because I'd planned on using him if I needed.
Sure.
And we're there for probably half an hour. And one other guy shows up. So it's me, one other guy, and no trailer. So the trailer fell through, and the 4 or 5 other guys that were supposed to show up fell through. This is not looking good.
No.
And Cece has a pickup truck, and it sits really high up.
I don't like this.
And it's got the hard cap on it,
Yeah.
too. So I'm looking at it, and I'm talking to this guy. I'm like, we could probably throw it up in the back of that. And he's looking at it, and we got the tape measure out, and we measured it, and like, yeah, it'll fit. So we got it up on its back, slid it in, but it's hanging off the back of the truck bed because of the wheel wells inside the truck. And the cap's hanging up. So I tell Cece, who happens to be Asian of some variety, I said, well, do you want to drive my van while I'll drive your truck? Because I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in her driving that as it was for 2 reasons.
Okay.
Primarily because she's a female. And secondary because she's Asian of some variety.
Sure.
Those are 2, not historically speaking. I'm not talking about her directly. Historically speaking, Asians are bad drivers and women are bad drivers. So if you have a woman Asian, it's not
maybe they
be
cancel one another out, and she's like, you know,
2 negatives sometimes
Jeff
make a
Gordon.
positive.
All I'm seeing is that scene from Family Guy where the Asian lady's in the car and she's like, "Oh, I have to get on my exit right now. Sorry, everybody else." Goes the whole way. Oh,
I don't watch that. So I drive her truck. She drives my van. We get there. And I look at the house as we pull up, and it's a ranch. I'm like, this is great.
This is good.
We're just going to go right in the front door.
Yeah.
The living
Drop
room.
it there. Now it's your problem.
Now it's your problem. She goes, well, if you could back down the driveway, we'll take it in the back of the house instead of the front. Okay.
All right.
And she
Okay.
goes,
You
and
want it in the
then
back
what
of
we're
the
going to do
house.
is we're going to take it down to the basement.
I'm sorry. Come again?
What?
No.
Basement?
I got it this far.
It's me
in your truck.
and one other guy who is probably my age. My age. So we're both mid-40s. I don't want to move that. I didn't want to move it in the first place, but I do.
Yeah.
And so we carried it down the stairs. It was not the most pleasant experience I've ever had.
No.
So
A piano is on the Mount Rushmore.
of things that you don't want to move. If someone calls you and says, hey, could you help me move this? The answer is no. Piano is the George Washington of that. What else do you have? 3 more things.
I would say a loaded porta potty.
Oh, yeah.
Like brimming.
One that hasn't been serviced for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's just filled to the
I mean,
top.
it's going to be heavy, first of all. Second of all, very little room for error there.
Good measure, pressed down, chicken together, running over is the poop in this porta potty. Yeah. That might be the least.
Yeah.
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 We got 2 more things.
2 more things.
Here's the thing. Anything without wheels or handles.
How about the remains of Adolf Hitler? I feel like there could be some sort of like demonic activity attached to it.
Okay, that's fine.
I probably wouldn't want to touch it.
Yeah. One more thing.
Okay.
Like a old moldy refrigerator.
Old moldy.
Or freezer. Like, one time, I had a freezer go bad. I had a bunch of meat in it. And it was in the summertime in July. And it was out in the garage. And I didn't catch it right away.
That's no good.
And it was like a week before I caught it. And by the time I caught it, it was bad.
Yeah.
So I have a choice. What do you do with an old freezer with a whole bunch of bad meat in it?
And do you live in the country?
At the time, I lived in Caledonia.
Oh, okay.
I took it to a dumpster.
Yeah.
I found a dumpster.
Yeah.
And I put the whole thing in the dumpster.
Sure.
It was not It was not pleasant.
No.
Josh helped me with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was fun.
I bet I love that.
Yeah. I had to do something with it.
Yeah.
That's it. Freezer full of bad meat.
Freezer full of bad meat. The remains of Adolf Hitler.
Uh-huh.
A full porta potty and a piano.
That's it. That's it.
It's one of the more eclectic Mount Rushmores we've had.
I'm never gonna move a piano ever again. If someone calls me, I'll say I will bring Harrison, and he can help you.
Yeah.
Or I have a guy named Jesse he's a big, strong guy. He can help you.
I've had back surgery. Can't do it.
Well, that's going to be my answer from now on. Like
Jesse's had back surgery.
Jesse's had back surgery, and I don't feel like moving your piano.
Okay.
So I think we're out of time for the draft, unless you have one really quick.
Well, I was just thinking, let's just do a Mount Rushmore of '80s male actors: Tom Selleck,
Tom Hanks,
Harrison Ford. Is Tom Hanks? I don't know. He was
like big.
He wasn't though. He didn't really take off until the 90s.
Like You Got Mail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, 80s.
I mean, I know Tom Cruise was in the 80s.
Sylvester Stallone.
Ooh, Sly.
Because he did like Rambo and Rocky.
That's pretty good.
It's him.
That's pretty good.
Are we going to go with like a Chuck Norris?
I don't know, though. I mean, he's pretty niche. I mean, I think Chuck Norris is bigger now than he was then. Don't you think?
He's pretty iconic. If we go iconic, we're not talking best. We're talking
yeah,
iconic.
That's true, which is probably why Sly Stallone belongs on the list.
So what's the list right now?
Tom Selleck, Harrison Ford, Sly Stallone.
Yeah, we got one more.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, let's go with him. That's pretty iconic.
Eddie
Back
Murphy.
to the Future. Ooh.
Eddie Murphy's pretty good.
Yeah, let's go Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy. We need a little.
So that's it. It's Eddie Murphy, Harrison Ford, Tom Selleck, and the one I just said.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, one of them takes that spot. I probably give it to Stallone because of Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rambo.
We're talking Rambo?
Rambo?
What else was he in? Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
It's a horrible movie.
That was not a good movie. There was a great SNL skit where Norm Macdonald got in a car wreck and he's dying, and Sly Stallone like comes to like his aid, and he was like, "Oh man, how can I? Oh, what's wrong?" And he's like stuck under the car and he's dying, and he looks up, he's like, "Are you Sylvester Stallone?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, how can I help you?" He's like, "Stop or My Mom Will Shoot was horrible." So it's just a long skit of him making fun of all Sylvester Stallone's movies. He's like, "Okay, man, it wasn't the best, but what are you gonna do?" It's classic Norm Macdonald. All right, well, this is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Good dog.
I've spoken.
I can bring the lizard.
Gecko. I don't like lizard.
I got another lizard. I got a lizard at home though.
Gecko's a better.
I got a bigger one.